Hiya, I'm just going to show you how I use Shotwell to manage my photo library. So I'm going to try and find it. It's actually showing there on the screen, but I'm going to type in photos and it shows me the apps that I might want to look at. So it's Shotwell. I've actually done the configuring already because I messed up an earlier video, so I think I can still do it justice. So first thing I'm going to do is edit my preferences, and the default is it's going to show you pictures, but if you have a shared library, then you're going to want to pick that, but the default is pictures, so I'm going to pick that. Now, what I want to do now is set that. I'm going to tell it to watch the library. Did that wrong, didn't I? Right, okay. So I'm going to tell it to watch that library, and that means that anything new that goes in there will get imported into the library. The next thing is to set this pattern here. The way the default works is it is like this, which is gives you a folder structure where under the pictures folder you're going to get the year in 4-digit form, followed by a subfolder of the month in with 2 digits, 0, 1, 2, 1, 2 to 12. And then you're going to get the day of the week, but I prefer to have the date in the month. I prefer to also have the day of the week, because when one thinks of an event, you can normally think of the wedding being on a Saturday, or it was something you did on the Monday, or whatever. So the human brain tends to work in days of the week rather than dates. I quite like to have file names in lowercase, simply because they take up less space when you're looking at them on a screen or on a TV, because often if you have a long file name, you can't see it because it spills over. And then this is quite important, to write the tags onto the files. That means that any other app that you might use, Picasa for example, or other apps, they will see the same tags. Other people will see the same tags, so if you're in a shared folder, they will see your tag. So if you've tagged a folder, a particular photograph, they don't have to re-tag it with Julie's wedding or whatever, because you've already done it. So it's best to have that tagged. But of course, when you change tags, you change the file. That's going to trigger backups, and photographs are big objects, large objects, so just beware that your backups might be longer if you add a load of tags onto a whole large group of photographs. External editors, well, I haven't got much installed on this particular machine. The one that should be in this link, in this list, is not installed. Which is called GIMP. GIMP is the equivalent of Photoshop in the open world, open applications world. Plugins, it does work quite well in sending your photos up to Facebook, etc. And I'm not sure if Picasa Albums works now, because Google has withdrawn that product, phasing it out, and they now have photos. So I don't know if that needs to be updated, but anyway, I'm not going to worry about that. So that's my defaults done. I'm going to close that. I could close this now, actually. And I'm just going to get rid of a folder which I don't think it had anything in it, but just for the purpose of that demo, I'm going to delete that folder that was created earlier. Now I need to insert my memory stick from the camera. and in this case it's already inserted. I just need to expose it to the machine, and I can open a folder and look at them, or I can launch Shotwell because it knows there are digital photos on it. So I'm going to press OK, and it's now launched Shotwell for me. If I look at the storage camera, those are the 4 pictures I took earlier today for the purpose of this demo in my garden. So I'm going to select, I can right click there to import them all, or I could select Control A to select them all and then import. It doesn't matter how I do it. Press import all. It now wants to know should it delete from the memory stick. If the camera was attached, then you could delete them from the camera, although some cameras don't give permission for that. So I think Panasonic doesn't grant permission for a PC to delete and manage the memory stick when it's in the camera. Only the camera can do it, which is fair enough. I tend to keep it, to keep the pictures on the memory disk, and then when I put the memory stick back in the camera later, after I've imported all the pictures off it, and pictures and videos, by the way, it should grab all of them. Then I get the camera to reformat the memory stick, and that means I've got a nice, like an almost new memory stick back in the camera. The camera's done the formatting, so the camera should be happy with it. You don't need to worry about the camera's numbering system. That will be preserved, so that's not deleted when the camera reformats an SD disk inside it. So I think I'll just let it keep those. Now this is very, very important. While I've got this folder here with my last import, now is the time to put some tags on it. If you have a very large library, these 4 pictures would get lost. It would be like searching for them later, would be like finding a needle in a haystack. So it's very important that we add some tags. So I'm going to select all, Control A, and then I could do Control T to tag them, or I could add tags from here. It does the same thing. Now the first tag I like to always add is which camera did I use. So this is going to remember the one I used earlier, I think. No, it's not. It's a Panasonic FS5. That was the camera. So that tag has now been added. Here's my tags in the list here. That's the first thing I've done. Next tag is to add a tag for what it is, what it's done here, and I always use as the first thing the year and the month, so that I can find these again in chronological area in the tag list, sorted by year and month. I don't normally put the day I took them, so I'm just going to put a space, and these are garden pics. So I'm going to save that, and you'll see I now have a tag, and that's been added to all the pictures. Now I recall that I took these ones in the rear garden, so I'm going to tag those as 01 rear. Now you can see that tag has become is now sorted above here, but I'll show you we can do that in a minute. And then I'm going to tag these with 02 front. Now you could imagine that if these were pictures on holiday, you might have tagged them as 2016-08 holiday in Spain or wherever you were, and then you might select some of them. These are sorted in chronological order because I think because it says so. View, sort pictures by exposure date and ascending. So that's handy. these tags might relate to the first one. This tag might be the the holiday in Spain, and then this tag, which is only got 2 pictures, they might relate to a boat trip or something. Now, I'm just going to drag the tags. So now these are subtags. So when I click here, I see the 4 pictures. When I click here, I see the 2 pictures of the rear and the 2 pictures in the front. So that enables us to kind of subtag and subtag, but group them all together. So if this was a 200 pictures taken on holiday, you could organize them into a load of subtags of trips, a boat trip, or in the restaurant, or going around the old town, or whatever it might be. The other really important thing to do while we've got them all here is, let's suppose that it was an event like a wedding and there were multiple cameras in use. Your spouse may be using a camera, friends and other people, rellies, all got cameras taking pictures of the bride. You want to have them in chronological sequence. You want to be able to scroll through that folder of photographs and have them timed to the second, so that if everyone's got a picture of the first kiss or the first dance, then you're viewing them from different angles, different cameras, but all coordinated at the same time. So one of the really neat features in Shotwell is, again, it's important to do it now on the input when you've got this import folder all together. Select all, and then go to photos and adjust the date and time. So let's suppose you were on holiday and you forgot to set the date and time on your camera, or you forgot which time zone. You could shift them all forward by 1 hour for a time zone shift, or back 1 hour, and when you press OK, it will change the date and time that's recorded in those files to that level. Oh, right. Sorry, I had to answer the door then. Deal with the visitor. Okay. Yeah, I just so we've adjusted the date and time, whatever, and you can now see that we've got the pictures in the all tagged. If I right click, I can have a look at where they are, show in the file manager, and you can see how the folder structure gives me pictures, the year, the month, the day, and there's my 4 pictures. The one thing it won't do is if the pictures are in the library or in this folder, it won't move them around. So it'll only do it with new pictures in another place. So if you've got an existing library of photographs and you want to import them into Shotwell, and you want to have them in this structure, then you're going to need to drag and drop the pictures in from the other location. And dragging and drop, you can drag a picture onto Shotwell. You see how there's a plus sign appeared on the on that. That means if I let go, it would import it. In fact, I'd be curious to know what happens. I have a feeling it's going to tell me it's already got this. It said no, 1 duplicate. I'm not doing that. So that was a bit smart. So it is quite good at not bringing in duplicates. But if you've got a large library, then you better think about backing it up multiple times. And if it's your family photos, think about what how you'd feel if you lost them. So after you've done the backups, do one more backup onto different medium, external drives, internal drives, you name it, and then start from fresh, import them. Shotwell can import a large bulk of items, but you might want to do it a few hundred at a time. And certainly you'll want, if your existing library is organised in file folders for holiday in Greece or whatever, That's the do it by folder and then do your tags. But of course you can go through chronologically, so you could go to the folders in here and you'll find a load of pictures in there, so you can view them by year. So that would be showing me the whole of the year. In this case, just 4 pictures, and you could then tag those pictures. So add your tags that way. The next thing I want to show you is renaming the files, which is something I like to do. Renaming the file names, because those names are given to it by the camera, and some are better than others. I think using phone cameras on phones, it does tend to give you a better file name than cameras. But let me just show you what you can do. I've got a program installed called pyRenamer. I'm just going to type in REN rename, and there's my program. I'm going to point to my pictures. If I press recursive, then I'm going to get them all. So it's imported the 4. Now I did this earlier, so hopefully, there you go. So if I hover there, you'll be able to see a list of all the different rename settings that one can have. The way this program works is you have an original pattern. In this case, it's just everything. I think if I hover again, it will show you that means anything. So X in curly brackets means anything. But you could put in a pattern. So you could type in a pattern. So anything followed by the tilde. Tilde is quite an unusual character. And I might have another of those X. So what that is saying, it's looking for a pattern that says anything, then tilde, then anything. But I don't want that. What I do want to rename is use this great feature for renaming images. So I'll show you what that's going to do for me if I preview. That's getting me to the year, the month, the calendar day, then underscore the day of the week, then underscore the time, the minutes, the seconds, then it's picking up the camera name, then it's putting a tilde in. The tilde is a nice character because it is unusual, and if I wanted to go back to the original names, I could use this program to search and replace for that tilde. So that's the setting. Once you punched it in, you don't need to do it again. You can save it, and it's always going to be in your list. And once it becomes your default, it's if you like, it's your default. And it's pretty quick. If I select all of those, preview, and then rename, those files have now been renamed. I also like to have use the capitalization to change them to downcase, or I would call that lowercase. Control A, select all, preview, and rename. So now I've got the file names with lowercase letters, which will take up less space on the TV when you're looking at the file name. So that's the renamer. Just close that. Go back into Shotwell. Now Shotwell is, because it's been set to monitor and look for that in that folder, it knows it's rediscovered all these files with their new names. So there's the new name. I'm going to right click and we'll see that the show in file manager that those renames really are, those new names really are on the disk. So there they are, renamed. And if I look at the properties of this, the image, you can see here some of the keywords, and you can see that. So in other words, my tags have been hard encoded into the file, and that's how other applications can pick it up. This was stored with the file by the camera itself, and obviously the camera reported what the speed settings were, etc. Right, that's it. That is what I do. and if it's useful, then I hope you may do something similar.